Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to address you today. I wish I were able to join you in person for a gathering of this significance. Yet, due to unforeseen circumstances, I'm unable to join physically, but at least I'm with you partially through virtual interaction. We gather at a moment when the narrative of Africa is increasingly being shaped from within the continent itself, reflecting its diversity, its depth, and its many distinct histories. In this context, culture is not peripheral, it is rather at the core. Museums today are no longer simply repositories of the past. They are platforms for the future. At the Grand Egyptian Museum, the GEM, which I often describe as the Museum of Museums, or rather the GEM of Museums, our responsibility goes beyond preserving artifacts. It is to ensure that heritage remains meaningful today and relevant tomorrow, and to connect history with education, innovation, tourism, diplomacy, heritage, and sustainable growth. Because ultimately, knowledge must move beyond theory, it must translate into action. Egypt's heritage holds a unique place not only within Africa, but in the history of human civilization. It's a civilization that developed its own continuity, language, and worldview over millennia, while remaining deeply connected to its geographical and cultural surroundings. At the GEM, we're not only preserving one of the world's oldest civilizations, we are redefining how that civilization is experienced. Through advanced conservation, immersive storytelling, and integrated cultural and educational spaces, we're building a living institution, one that speaks to scholars and equally to Gen Z creators and global audiences. The GEM is the first and foremost cultural landmark for Egypt, Africa, and the world. A reflection of a country that places its heritage at the center of its identity, its development, and its global engagement. But it's also more than that. It's a model of how cultural institutions can preserve with scientific rigor, engage contemporary audiences, and contribute meaningfully to economic and social ecosystems. Increasingly, it's a platform for dialogue, collaboration, and knowledge exchange across Africa and the whole world. While histories across Africa are distinct and shaped by different civilizations, there is a shared opportunity today for cultural institutions to collaborate, exchange knowledge, and strengthen how heritage is preserved and presented globally. Africa today is not waiting to be defined. It is actively shaping its own trajectory. Cultural institutions have a critical role to play in that transformation, as spaces of memory and as platforms of influence. The opportunity before us is immense. At the intersection of heritage and youth, between memory and imagination, the future will be shaped. The question is not only how we preserve heritage, but how we activate it and market it, how we transform it into education, innovation, and creative industries. Because cultural heritage, when properly positioned, becomes a driver of progress and a foundation for identity. There is a growing opportunity for institutions across Africa to play a more prominent role in the global cultural conversation, each bringing forward its own heritage, perspective, and expertise. In closing, the GEM reflects what is possible when heritage, vision, and ambition come together. But it's also an open invitation to collaborate, to connect, and to co-create. Because the story, or rather stories of Africa, are not behind us, they are unfolding. And together we have both the responsibility and the privilege to shape how those stories and the main story of Africa is told. Thank you.